Good morning. Welcome to a new edition of our show titled Speak of Africa. We have a lot of news for you today, and we hope you will enjoy this news. Today, we're going to spend time exploring a phenomenon we call presidential election delay in Africa. Before we get to that, we're going to do some household chores. We have to announce some changes that have taken place in our business. For your information, I have decided to move from Remax to TriStar Realty. For a few months now, I've been doing real estate with Remax, but I decided to leave Remax for TriStar Realty for business reasons. As you know, the purpose of business is to maximize profits. I decided to leave Remax because TriStar Realty offers me more opportunities to keep more of my money. When you have a business, the lower your expenses, the more profits you can make. So the same advice that I give to clients, I have to follow that advice. With TriStar Realty, my fees are very low, my cost of doing business is very low, so I don't have to be paying a lot of royalty fees to Remax. That's money that I could be putting in my pocket and saving and investing for my own personal betterment. In addition, we have decided to start working on web servers because we realize that when we put messages on social media, the big boys try to censor us. So we don't really want to be dealing with this censorship for a very long time. So as a result, we've decided to start building our own web servers. In a few weeks, we'll start rolling everything out and you'll be benefiting from it. We'll be taking our advertising directly to you and nobody will be able to control the flow of our information. So this is going to be a very, very good thing. So those who don't know, when you want to buy a house or you want to sell a house, I stand a better chance to help you. Okay? And my website is princeojonhome.com. My website gives you a list of homes that are available for sale. I've made a deal with the MLS, Multiple Listing Service. My website makes it very, very easy for anybody who doesn't really know how to use the computer very much to search for homes independently. You don't need an agent to show you houses. In fact, you can go to my website and look for houses on your own. And my website also provides a lot of information on how to buy a house and how to sell a house. So if you need any of this information, you can go to my website and access this information for free. So I'm going to guide you. So before you even call me, you can share the list of the houses that you like. Then I'll be able to show you those houses live. So this is my agenda for 2019. I want more Africans to live the American dream and make it really easy for anybody who is really interested in home ownership to buy a piece of America. Even those who have issues with credit. Because when I started my business career, I used to handle credit repair. If you have issues with credit, I don't have time to do credit repair anymore, but I have business associates who can really help you clean up your credit. Then banks will say yes to you. If credit has been the issue putting you down, making it impossible for you to buy a house, you don't need to worry about that anymore. I've come up with a solution and I want to help as many people as possible who have issues with credit. Okay, so now we should launch into our news sector. Today, we're going to examine the phenomenon of election delay. A few weeks ago, we've been reporting continuously on the presidential elections that was to take place in Nigeria on February 16. Interestingly, on the day of the election, INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, decided to postpone these elections. Why was the delay? The people were not really happy with this delay because they have been preparing for months to participate, to express their right to vote for president, but INEC conspired with President Mohamadu Buhari to postpone these elections. These elections was postponed for really clever reasons. So when you look at postponement, this is not the first time that elections have been postponed in Africa. In fact, when you look at over 51 countries in Africa, you will notice that election postponement is not really a new phenomenon, but it's something that is worth paying attention to because on this show, we realize that the internet is awash with a lot of news. So what we try to do on this show is not just to present the news. We'll try to give you a window through which you can understand and interpret the news that is going on all over the world. We'll try to help you make sense out of all this news, okay? So we're not just another news channel that just provides news. We try to analyze this news to make it easy for you to grasp it, okay? We chew it, we'll present it to you so that you can make sense out of it. You have the brains to think for yourself. And we encourage you to raise your level of perception. When you look at this election delay phenomenon, why is it happening? In fact, this phenomenon has three parts. It has a political component, it has a social component, and it has an economic component.
$250 to $6,000. Quick tax refund advance made easy. It's tax season 2019. The Christmas and New Year holidays are over. Everybody's talking about the PJ Tax Service, the new kid in town on H&R Block's block. Why? Money, money, money. Spread the good news. Quick tax refund advance is here. It's big, bigger than ever. Put big money in your pocket fast. PJ Tax Service. Nobody gets your tax money back faster, instantly, quickly, and immediately. 3 tax refund disbursement choices for you in less than 24 hours. Visa e-card, paper check, and direct deposit. Get your money back without delays. PJ Tax Service has your back. It is your money, so get it now. PJ Tax Service. You like the way we do your taxes. PJ Tax Service. You feel like a lottery or a sweepstake winner. Act now. Call 301-593-4879 or 301-593-4897. Or come to our office, 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Or you can visit us online, www.pjtaxservice.com.
The election delay is a way for the ruling party and the president of Nigeria to skirt constitutional requirements to try to position himself to rig the elections. As we've said on this show many times, we already knew that President Mohamadu Buhari would try to rig these elections. We said it many times, we said it many weeks even before it happened, and history has proven us right. Buhari has just done what we predicted. He has colluded with other guys to postpone this election until next Saturday. Interestingly, even candidate Atiku Abubakar found out that people in Buhari's party already knew about this looming postponement because President Buhari has been meeting with governors from Borno State and other states, and he let them know that he was going to suspend and delay these elections. They did this because they wanted to put their machinery of rigging in full gear. But this is not really good for democracy because it's really making the people to begin to lack faith in the Nigerian electoral system. So we begin to see that INEC is not really as independent an institution as it should be. If we have an independent institution, it should not be taking orders from President Buhari. INEC should just decide. In fact, 48 hours before the elections, INEC announced that it was ready to manage these elections. So suddenly, what changed? All the issues dealing with insecurity, Boko Haram, have been there for a long time. So what did INEC discover in particular, which made it decide to change the decision from holding these elections? The idea of saying that thugs were already planning to steal polling stations and President Buhari promising to kill all of these guys is just an excuse. We don't really think this is why these elections were postponed. The elections were postponed to give time for the Buhari machine to try to rig these elections. And we are just afraid that if this happens, as we're watching, things are going to really get bad and they're going to get worse too. So we're really warning the people who are watching to really go and make sure that they can exercise their vote. If Buhari steals their victory, I know Nigerians cannot really handle things for themselves. Nigerians are not like Cameroonians. They can really fight for their rights. So I'm not really worried if Buhari steals the election. Nigerians are going to do whatever they want to do to make sure that they can secure their victory. So Buhari will not succeed. When you look at all the social media, we read all the articles, the people are very, very disappointed. The people don't really have trust in the electoral system anymore. When you have free and fair election, then the people should be able to choose who they want to be president. But it looks like President Buhari is already interfering with this free and fair electoral system. Is this good for Nigeria? We don't think so. So we really see that Mr. Buhari is not really a Democrat. If he were a Democrat, he would try to allow free and fair elections to take place in Nigeria. But from what we see, he's interfering with the system, and when we look at it, he has very poor governance record. Okay, his record of governing is not really good. He's a weak leader, and he has not really done much on the political front to advance democracy. We like to see sustainable democracy in Nigeria. But with the actions of President Mohamadu Buhari, this is just like a mirage. It's not going to happen. On the economic front, why is the Buhari government incompetent? They knew for so many months that elections are going to take place. Why were they not ready on the day of the election? So this really shows that this government is very, very incompetent, and the people have the right to kick this government out. On the social front, we've seen that Boko Haram has always been a menace to Nigerians. The Buhari government has been losing the security fight. Boko Haram has been winning. For a long time, Buhari has said Boko Haram is under control. He has won the terrorism war against Boko Haram. It's false. So we're telling INEC to try to do something to make sure that at least Nigerians can respect the electoral system. But from what we've seen so far, Nigerians don't have trust in this system. And I don't think a lot of people may want to come and vote. What makes us sad is so many people have already been killed. In fact, even a few days before this election and even after, the killing is still going on. Many people are losing their lives, and we don't think this is a good sign for democracy because there's too much violence to vote or to fight. The Western world has been telling Nigerians that voting or elections should not be about fighting a war. Now, the election this time in Nigeria is like a serious warfare. People are really fighting and killing each other. This is not what elections are about. Elections should be about making a choice to decide who should lead this populous nation to democracy. Unfortunately, people are dying because of elections. This is not really a good sign. And when we look at these three aspects of election delays, it is not limited only to Nigeria. When you look at Cameroon, which is Nigeria's neighbor, the same thing is really happening. Delays happen, and in fact, the election could not hold in many places in Cameroon, especially the north and the southwest regions of the country. But the dictatorial leader called Paul Biya still decided to vote himself president. Okay? And the Constitutional Council decided to select him as president, even though he did not campaign, but he won anyway. The person who actually won this vote, Maurice Kamto, is languishing in jail in Konengi today. Why? Because initially, Maurice Kamto did not really know what to do, but finally, the people really put pressure on him to fight for his victory. So Maurice Kamto, as I see it, is really a reluctant rebel. Going to Konengi is going to teach Maurice Kamto many lessons. For the first time, he's going to go through the school of Ambazonia. The Ambazonians are going to meet him in jail, and they're going to teach him what is wrong with the Paul Biya regime, what is wrong with Cameroon as a nation. There are so many things that are wrong. The French are dominating that government, and the French steal all the resources of Cameroon, and then the Anglophones are marginalized. So the Anglophones who are in jail, and they are in Konengi in big numbers, they're going to school Maurice Kamto in the ways of the world. When Maurice Kamto leaves Konengi, he's going to be so knowledgeable that he'll be really prepared to lead Cameroon as a nation. And that's what we see. So we think it's even a political relations blunder for Mr. Biya to put Maurice Kamto in jail, because it makes him really look bad. From what we understand, France is even urging Mr. Paul Biya to free Mr. Maurice Kamto, because in a democracy, all the actors have the right to speak their minds without fear of arrest or persecution. But this is not what has been happening in Cameroon. All the followers of Mr. Maurice Kamto have been beaten, they have been shot, some of them have been maimed. Is this what democracy looks like? Well, this is democracy Paul Biya style. We are seeing today the birth of a new Adolf Hitler who wants to really create a new genocide. He's killing people every day, and this is creating a lot of havoc. So we think this should stop, and we're asking the United Nations to pay attention. The United Nations is really an anachronistic organization because so much killing is going on in this part of the world, but they are just turning a blind eye. They're not doing anything about it. So this is not really a good sign. So long as they allow this wound to fester, more and more people will be killed. So when will the killing be enough for the United Nations? Are they waiting for all Cameroonians in Anglophone regions to be killed before they say something about it? When Rwanda happened, they said, oh, this is the last time we're going to allow a genocide to take place in this part of the world. But today, another genocide is taking place and nobody is saying anything about it.
Life insurance money secrets of millionaires and billionaires exposed. Discover how America's rich and famous exploit these arcane tools to build fabulous wealth. Why should these big white guys have all the fun? Let Prince Ojong, the celebrity author of The Miraculous Millionaire, show you the little understood life insurance way to riches. Are you still doubting the good things that life insurance can do for you? Trust strategies, estate planning, 401k rollover, annuity contract, cash value, education funding, executive benefits, income protection, life protection, living benefits, mortgage protection, tax-free retirement? Think and grow rich with life insurance. Your amazing journey to wealth begins by calling Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131.
So now we're going to move to Senegal. Senegal is also poised to go through elections. Already there are like 5 candidates who are vying for presidential power. Of course, you have the incumbent, Macky Sall. A few weeks ago, we read about some of the good things he has done for the country. He has built a new railway station, and people were saying he's a very modern kind of guy. He has taken Senegal into the modern age. Okay, that sounds good. But on the other side also, we think Macky Sall has done a few wrong things. In preparation for re-election, he played games and imprisoned people who could have challenged him for the presidency, such as the son of Abdullah Wade, Karim Wade. Is that what a Democrat should do? We don't think so. When people who should really run for president are imprisoned unjustly, this engenders discontent. So even if Macky Sall wins re-election, we look at his re-election as a Pyrrhic victory. It's victory that is meaningless because the people did not really vote for him. So he has really cleared the field. He has cleared the field so that all his opponents are out of the way, so he can choose to do what he wants to do without any opposition. So we don't think this really bodes well for democracy in Senegal. In fact, Senegal has really been a stable democracy in Africa from what we know. From the time of independence when Leopold Sédar Senghor took over the country as president, there's been transition, okay? We've had people who have taken over from other presidents. So now, we're saying that Macky Sall doesn't want this democratic tradition to continue. So he wants to impose himself as a leader for another term. This will happen because in most African countries, when you are president, you control the whole machinery. In fact, there is this experiment of state capture, where a strong person captures the apparatus of the state. The army is behind him. He corrupts all the institutions of the state, so he controls them using puppet strings. So this is what is happening in most African countries. So the state is very, very weak. So when you destroy the central government, the whole country collapses because the state is weak. You don't have strong institutions. So what can really create a change in Africa is for us to start building new institutions of democracy so that strong men cannot emerge and capture the state and take over the whole functioning of the country. If we can do this, it will be a good thing for democracy in Africa. But so far, we've realized that we are not really going to experience real democracy in Africa. The people are really going to be wasting their time trying to vote because their votes don't really matter. The person who is president is the one who also counts the vote. Interestingly, it's like you are a judge and you are also a plaintiff or defendant. So if you are a plaintiff or defendant in a case where you are a judge, who is going to win? Of course, you're going to win the case because you decide the fate of the case. This is what is really happening in elections in Africa. The people who are really president are also running for elections, so they tend to choose themselves as the winner, even when they lose. They don't accept losses willingly. They always want to subjugate the people to dictatorship. So when we look at this, we're not really happy with what is happening, and we're telling our people that it's time for change, and we think we need to look at this phenomenon as what is really hurting Africa a lot. And when we look at this, even in Benin, I'm talking about Benin Republic. Benin Republic used to be Dahomey. There also, Patrice Talon is president, and we don't think elections are really going on well in that country. So we've been watching what is going on, and the opposition are asking for a new electoral code. But will Patrice Talon give the people what they want? We don't think so. So most of these people really need to be forced to do the right thing. Willingly, they will not willingly decide to give up power, except they are forced to do so. Look at what happened in Congo DRC. Joseph Kabila did not really want to give up power. He was really forced to do so. He played the same tactics of election delays, but the international community was hell-bent, especially the Catholic Church. They really wanted him to step down. But what did he do? He still played the game. Instead of allowing Martin Fayulu, the real winner of the elections, to take over power, he decided to strike a backroom deal with Felix Tshisekedi, who did not really win the election, to become president. So now, Martin Fayulu is protesting. What will happen? Well, the instruments of power are with Felix Tshisekedi, so there's not much Martin Fayulu will be able to do, even though he has a lot of international support. So for the people, we know that they have lost, and we'll just wait when they may win again next time. So this is really the story of elections in Africa. When we look at what is happening, the people can never really be allowed to express themselves, okay? Because the government is for the leader, by the leader, and of the leader. So it's not a government of the people, for the people, by the people. In traditional Africa, by contrast, people used to sit and discuss issues affecting the community in a very, very social environment where the voices of all the members are heard and everything is decided by consensus. Today, that consensus is missing because the leaders tend to use weapons of war to fight any opponent. So most African countries are really run just like a gang. When you are the gang leader, anybody who tries to oppose you, you kill him, and that's the way you maintain calm and peace. So we hope that a new day will dawn in Africa when we will start having real elections. We can only have real elections when we start having real institutions, when we start making it impossible for strong men to emerge and take over the country by capture. We thank you very much again for watching our show of today, and we're going to bring you more shows, but we're asking you to make an effort to be subscribing to our shows. When you subscribe, you make it easy so that whenever we have a new video, you have it right away. When you don't subscribe, a lot of times you don't know when we have new videos. I meet a lot of viewers who call me and say, oh, I've not watched your show for a while. But we're having videos every week. You've not watched our show for a while because you did not subscribe. When you don't subscribe, you don't know when we'll have a new video. In fact, it's very, very easy to go on YouTube to subscribe to our videos. Our channel is there and we're having more and more videos. We're covering more and more issues. So we're encouraging you, tell all your friends, share every video you see on our channel with your friends so that you get to know what we're talking about. Sometimes some of you will ask us, oh, you've not covered anything about Congo. You've not covered anything about Nigeria. It's not true. Every week we cover things that are of concern to Africans. We go on the internet, we search, we listen to our viewers also. So we gather information about what is happening and what's important in Africa. Then we try to present an African perspective. It's true, we are Pan-Africanists. We love Africa to be together as a continent, one people. That's really the aspiration of most Africans. So we have this philosophy and we want to share it with you. We know it's not going to happen overnight, but we have to make a start. They said a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So take the first step, begin subscribing to our channel, share this information with your friends, let them know that there's an African channel that is really discussing politics and social affairs the way you want it. We don't only limit ourselves to politics, we also discuss economics. Personally, I'm a business person, and most people who surround me are in business. What we do is we try to encourage Africans to become entrepreneurs. Personally, I have a lot of business interests. I don't shy away. I tell you about my business interests. I have interest in income tax preparation. I have interest in real estate. I have interest in insurance. I do stocks and all of that stuff. I have interest in consulting, okay? So I'm encouraging other people who are business owners to use this channel to promote their businesses, because that will really help us to change the fate of our continent. We cannot change Africa if we remain beggars. In order to change Africa, we need the resources to go there and make change. You don't want to go to Africa and be looking for a job. No. When you go to Africa, you want to provide jobs to the people who are living there. Okay? That's the way you become a change agent. So I thank you very much for watching the show. Once more, tell your friends to subscribe and have a good day. Bye-bye. God bless you.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.